isn't it? Emmanuel Debordran Pacquiao, ladies and gentlemen. Why won't Floyd just fight him? You know, it's a difficult subject to talk about these days because there's just so much, I guess you call it oversaturation, because it's just the hottest news on the market right now. Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. Well, now, January the 5th, 20... Beautiful, I tell you. It's January the 5th, 2015, and if the fight is going to be on May the 2nd, which it will be, they're going to have the rest of January, February, March, and then April to promote the fight. And then, of course, they have to have the best training camps of their career. I'm sure Floyd Mayweather is already training. I'm sure Manny Pacquiao was out there basketball jonesing. But here's the thing. We don't know who exactly to blame. You don't know who to blame for, oh, it's not happening because of this, it's not happening because of that. Because each day, there's always a new trickle of information. For example, you know, it was just an arbitrary number I was just basically throwing out there. But 200 million is not the exact person. You know, that's just basically a ballpark figure as far as, you know, a split. So you hear Floyd Mayweather 160 and Pacquiao wants to give Pacquiao just that 40 million. Now I say this, it seems as though there's a lot of people that just wants Manny Pacquiao just to take whatever money is being offered. So people are saying dumb shit like, well, he never made $40 million in his career before, so why don't he just take it? Now, you know that Floyd Money Mayweather, right? Floyd Money Mayweather is A-side. Floyd Money Mayweather does get to dictate the terms, but Floyd Money Mayweather has to produce numbers for Showtime Championship Boxing pay-per-view. So this is when you get other dumbass shit people say like, well, Floyd don't have to, he's going to fight whoever he wants to fight. Showtime got no choice. What they're going to do, not show Floyd fights? I understand all of that. But when you also factor in the product that Showtime has put out for a year or so, and the revamping of Showtime Boxing in 2012, and now just to see it just turn to piss, you think they're not looking at the top and say, all right, Floyd, listen, everything we've been doing here, like, listen, from you all the way down to those guys, from Amir Khan to Adrian Broner to Dana Garcia, give us Manny Pacquiao. Simple as that. The money is there. But it's the ego. And I just want to make it clear that in 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, if Floyd Mayweather doesn't fight Manny Pacquiao, we're not going to be talking about Manny Pacquiao walking away from that 40 million. We're going to talk about Floyd Mayweather not only walking away from Pacquiao, but walking away from 100 million. Ballpark figure. So it's extremely difficult for me to, as people say, to be unbiased when I'm looking at, okay, take the two fighters out of scenario. I'm looking at that big pot of money right there, and then I'm looking at Bob Arum and people saying that he doesn't want to fight, when I'm thinking to myself, that fight is going to be everyone's biggest payday. And not to mention, well, that 83-year-old man is going to the top of broadcast corporations, going to CBS and saying, listen, like, you see all this bullshit going down on your lower levels right here on Showtime? And then you got this big money fight out here, and this guy's just fighting whoever he wants to. No disrespect to Marcos Maidana, because I was all for the Marcos Maidana rematch. But when you look at realistically, now we know Floyd Mayweather can get his 30 million guaranteed and play Russian roulette and fight Amir Khan and maybe get $1 million, maybe not. But then after that, who? You know? Then after that, who? The demand for this fight, Mayweather versus Pacquiao, right now is extremely high. Both sides are in negotiations, and it's difficult. And I just want to make it clear that in 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, if Floyd Mayweather doesn't fight Manny Pacquiao, we're not going to be talking about Floyd Money Mayweather. We're going to talk about Floyd Money Mayweather not only walking away from Pacquiao, but walking away from 100 million. Ballpark figure. So it's extremely difficult for me to, as people say, to be unbiased when I'm looking at, okay, take the two fighters out of scenario. I'm looking at that big pot of money right there, and then I'm looking at Bob Arum and people saying that he doesn't want to fight, when I'm thinking to myself, that fight is going to be everyone's biggest payday. And not to mention, well, that 83-year-old man is going to the top of broadcast corporations, going to for me, with the research and all the fights, and you know, it's my duty to keep up with all the news. Even if I don't do videos every single day on it, it's my duty to keep up with all the news. So, seeing all this going on, it's hard for me to say, for example, you don't see me saying Floyd is scared anymore. You know, even though I feel my way about it, I just don't be saying that shit like I used to be saying it anymore. Because he's not physically scared of Manny Pacquiao. He is not afraid of him. If there's anything he's afraid of, it's afraid of the fact that, 38 years old, you know, and you wait until now to fight Pacquiao when he's already been knocked out cold and literally has nothing to lose, and you're at the end of your career, so you can end your career with 2 defeats or defeat if it goes to 2 fights. You know, it's tough. Another thing people say is, well, why don't Manny just take anything right now and then beat Floyd and then be A-side in a rematch? Come on, man. That's just like, where's this logic coming from? Well, how much sense? You don't even know if it's guaranteed it's going to be a rematch or not. You know how Floyd gets down. He don't like rematches. So it's tough because, of course, Bob Arum, the old man, you know, I hear a whole lot because, well, you know, it's the old white Jew man. You know, he don't want the fight to happen. He wants to make sure he has his way. And I think to myself, Bob Arum is no saint. I said that many other times before. He's no saint. But at the same time, I think to myself, this is a man who has been putting on the best possible fights he can put on within the small pocket of fighters that he has. So tell me this, why did HBO and Top Rank fights defeat Showtime fights in ratings 90% of the time in 2014? Why? It's because we were seeing more meaningful fights with Top Rank and HBO than with Showtime and Floyd Mayweather. Something just, you know, so I get a lot of question of, well, why are you always taking Bob Arum's side? Well, why Bob Arum? Fighters always got contract issues and everything. And I say, what the fuck does that have to do with Mayweather versus Pacquiao? They already know that they're B-side. But at the same time, they're trying to make sure they don't get fucked. You know, when negotiations like this, you got so many, I said this in a previous video, everybody's trying to get over on someone in some way, on one side in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's they make the most money off of, well, we get the larger percentage of the gate tickets. You know, we have the larger percentage of the sponsors, you know, like, you know, stuff like that. So when it comes even down to just, you know, just who's going to pay for, you know, to cover the napkins in the MGM Grand, who's going to foot the bill for all the napkins that you got to give out for free, you know, bullshit like that. You know, so when I hear Floyd Mayweather talking, well, I want this and that and this and that, okay, he can talk all that shit he wants. But at the same time, when it comes to actually drawing up the contract, he can go over that shit. We already know the poor man, and this is not, you know, to take shots or take the video to a negative tone. We already know he has some little bit of issues understanding. At least I can understand that. Well, Pacquiao isn't congressman. He may not be good with his money because he always giving the shit away and people robbing him. But at the same time, I'm sure he can understand the contract probably better than Floyd can. But that's just my personal opinion. And that's not me taking shots. Y'all know the shit. You just want to address it. So when it comes there just to the fine print in the contracts, you know, a lot of times that shit takes it takes time to draw up. And then also something people people aren't talking about, which should be a video of its own, which I will talk about eventually, is the undercard. This is a chance where if Bob Arum and Top Rank only work together, if Top Rank and Al Heyman only work together this one last time, you know, then you got to talk about who's going to be on the undercard of this big major fight. Now, of course, the larger portions of the purse are going to go to, you know, Mayweather versus Pacquiao. But then if you invest about five to maybe $7 million, okay, I'm going to say $3 to $7 million into the undercard, you can get some big fights. You know, you can throw in, you know, look, a Timothy Bradley versus a Robert Guerrero, something like that, you know, while you can do it. Or get Robert Guerrero versus Marquez, something like that, you know. Like there's different routes you can take with that. And then with an event of that magnitude, you want to make sure you do it right. You want to make sure all of your fights mean something. You know, even if you got to go all the way down, further down the road and do like an Errol Spence versus Diego Chavez, stuff like if that's the opening card, you know, shit like that. Andy Ruiz versus Deontay. No, not Deontay. He'll be a champion. Andy Ruiz versus Chris Arreola. See, there you go. But that's just my own personal opinion. Of course, I just don't. I look at it like this. Both fighters can say that they won the fight. You got Pacquiao out here ghost tweeting people out here, just going ham all on his social media and Instagram account. He probably don't even know what's going on with that, but it seems like every day he's just taking shots at Floyd. And once again, you have, if they like, let's say if they don't announce the fight until February the 1st. Right now it's January the 5th. You got February, you got March, and then you got April. If the fight's on May the 2nd. That's 3 months to get in the best training camp of your career, and you got to do most likely the biggest press, media, promotional tour in the history of boxing. Now, will both fighters sit out on some shit and be like, well, Mayweather Canelo going to fight not Mayweather Canelo, Canelo Cotto going to fight on Cinco de Mayo. And then Mayweather versus Pacquiao in September. I don't think both fighters would do that, but I'm saying, a fight like this, for them to rush it like that, I don't know, and that's what I'm concerned about. But I'm T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live, Real Combat Media, most complete boxing reporter on YouTube. I cover every single major fight live. I do all my videos live and uncut, so basically what I'll do is I'll say, let me get up here and do some videos real quick. Let's get up here and start running my mouth. Hit the record button. Whoop. Please subscribe.